Hello, everyone, and welcome to our round three review of the Northwest Conference for our CBL X's and O's podcast today. And I'm joined by Sammy Gazzo. Welcome, Sammy.
G'day, Matty. How are you today?
Going well. It was a big round three in the Northwest Conference, which saw not upsets as such, but some results go a little bit all over the shop, I'd say.
Yeah, I think some were not say predictable, but some we probably lent towards. But there was probably some there that we didn't expect in regards to maybe margin more than anything else. We expected some tight games, and there were, and then there was a couple of blowouts, which we'll go through.
Let's start in the men, and we'll start off with one of them blowouts, and it was Kyneton travelling to Castlemaine, and Castlemaine were able to get the win by about 46 points.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and looks like they had some great depth too. Four or five of the guys there double scoring. I mean, sorry, in double figures for scoring is obviously great, led by Trent Leach and Chris Hogan. So good on them. And that was probably one of the games, not for anything else, but I thought Kyneton might be a little bit closer. They have got a couple of guys there, and they look to be a better outfit than what they were last year. So probably just in regards to, that final margin. Yeah, it's probably something I didn't quite predict, but kudos to Castlemaine and getting the job done.
Maryborough hosted Melton, and I thought this was going to be a slightly closer contest, but Maryborough's recruit Zach Dunmore come in and did his thing, shooting 29 points in his first outing for the Blazers.
Yeah, exactly right. So he obviously proves like he's a great pickup straight away, coming in and scoring 29 points. But yeah, not a blowout as such, but that was probably one of those games. 17 points. I would have thought they'd be a bit closer, but it does seem like Melton came prepared. They travelled with 12 blokes, and also first half seemed to be the difference. So I think maybe they came out ready to go. Melton seemed prepared. So, and good to see Cameron McCullum playing his first game and scoring 18 points for Melton. So, he'll be one of their key players moving forward.
And Swan Hill made their road trip down to Bacchus Marsh Saturday night, but Riley Dunn and Den Cool did the job, and 16 points each for Bacchus Marsh were able to defend the home court.
Yeah, exactly. Again, one of those games. Probably didn't pick it to have such a large margin, but yeah, Riley and Den clearly led the way, but Swan Hill were missing a few, and it probably does seem like that affected them in regards to scoring. But good on Chambers there for picking up the load and scoring 23 points for Swan Hill.
And your team, Mildura Heat, sitting on top after round three, got the job done over the Macedon Rangers. It sounds like a nice road trip for you guys.
Yeah, that was the one on Saturday night. It was a very, Macedon are a great team. Very athletic, long, quick. They're coached very, very well. We were down going into half time by a couple, and you set the challenge to the boys as you do as a coach. You want to challenge them, and we came out third quarter, and it was great the amount of adjustments we were able to make, and yeah, we'll definitely take it. Any road wins a win, or any wins a win. So yeah, but Jack Bakewell for us stepped up with 22 points, and Tarek Shattuck as well for 20. So proud of the boys to get the win there, especially. Macedon had quite an emotional week. They had someone very close to them in the community pass away. So good on them for them coming out and playing the way they did. So they were able to get the win on the Sunday. But yeah, we'll go through that.
And you returned to Echuca on Sunday to take care of them quite convincingly by the looks of the score.
Yeah. Oh, look, I am the coach, so I'm going to smile a little bit just in regards to the margin. But I just think we executed well. And again, margin might not show how close it was, but again, I just think it does make a difference when you're playing well and you execute, whereas Echuca probably didn't, execute on some of the plays that they would probably want to. And look, short turnaround for us, 8 p.m. on the Saturday night and then 12 p.m. on the Sunday, especially with 2 hours travel in between. So just full credit to our boys for getting the job done.
And Castlemaine hosted Maryborough on the Sunday, and This game was a cracker of a game. It went into overtime, and the Cannons were able to run out 4-point victors in the end.
Yeah, it seemed like Maryborough weren't too happy with what happened on the Saturday night, and they came out and that would have been the game of the round. I reckon those two are going at it, and it just looks like Castlemaine got it done in the end. Zach Dunmore, did what he could, and you got Brady Hill there, Mister the old timer, if that's how we're going to put it, out of Maryborough, but just Mr. Solid getting it done with 16 points, but it's just not enough. And kudos to Castlemaine, and Maryborough will just see a missed opportunity, 0-2 over the weekend. Even playing Melton and Castlemaine, they really thought that they'd probably at least pick up one. So, it'll be a big week coming up for them.
Certainly is a big week for Maryborough. They're sitting at 1-4 currently, so that the two losses do hurt. But we change our focus back to Macedon, who are able to win by about 20 points over Swan Hill on the Sunday, which is obviously good for the Rockies.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it seemed like they had an emotional week with someone close to them passing, but and that's how you bounce back as well as a coach. You challenge them based on what happens on the Saturday night. And they're lucky enough to have another home game, and Swan Hill looked to have some of their guys back, but they probably just couldn't get the job done. So kudos to Macedon for picking it up after the Saturday night and getting a win on the Sunday.
And we take a quick look at the ladder, and Mildura up on top, 4-0, closely followed by Castlemaine, 4-0. So at the moment, them two teams don't play each other till I think it's round 7 or round 8. So that's going to be a cracker of a game when them two teams get to face each other. We then have Melton, who's another undefeated team, sitting third, and then Bacchus Marsh sitting fourth with a 2-1 record. Macedon Rangers, fifth. Bendigo, Swan Hill, Maryborough, and then Kyneton and Echuca round out the bottom, who just haven't got wins yet, but, don't write them off as a team because they will pick up a victory throughout the season. It's just when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. And probably the interesting thing, or the thing that stands out to me anyways, is Maryborough. Like you said, they are 1-4, but their percentage of 94% just seems like they're right there every single time. So, it's just very interesting to see how they go moving forward. 1-4, they are a couple of games off, but that 94% percentage does say that, they are just losing those games. So there's probably a couple of things they need to tweak, and they'll be fine.
And then we move across to the women in what was game of the round in the women. Melton travelled into Maryborough and were able to walk out with the victory.
Yeah, exactly right. Probably gave the men a bit of a pep up, seeing the women go in there and take a win, and probably got them going. That's why they started so well. But good on them. Ruby Murphy and Elle Price seems to be carrying the load, 69 points and 17 and 14 each there. But to go into a hostile place and get that win, and Maryborough probably were hoping to get their first win for the season as well. So they'll see that as a tough loss. But you take the wins and you want to win different ways. So kudos to Melton for getting that win.
Bacchus Marsh hosted Swan Hill, and it looks like Swan Hill struggled to get off the bus a little bit, only shooting 35 points. But Bacchus Marsh are a team that you can't count out this season. They're scoring big scores. So, Layleen Glaser's shooting 27. We see her there every week.
Yeah, we do. She just keeps putting up big numbers, doesn't she? But again, that's probably one of those ones I wouldn't have quite picked to be such a big margin. I mean, and to score 114 points just seems like they were clicking. And like you said, maybe Swan Hill just felt a bit of fatigue. It isn't easy to travel to some places. Some people will feel it more and different to others. So, but yeah, I mean, we will talk later that Swan Hill got to bounce back. So it seems like the girls did the job on the Sunday, but kudos to Bacchus Marsh, sitting there in fourth place and just sending, I think, a little bit of a message maybe to those top three teams that we do talk about quite a bit. So maybe we'll have to keep more of an eye on Bacchus Marsh moving forward, Matty.
Certainly, and Mildura got the job done against Macedon by, it looks like 40 points, just over 40 points to me. Did you see any of that game?
Yep. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we watched. I got to watch about a good half, or coming in and out and so forth. It just seemed like personnel was a bit of a change for us. We got to have some of the important girls in, still missing a few, but more important girls in, and the girls just seemed to execute again when need be. And It's just the second half that sort of stretched away from Macedon a little bit. So, yeah, girls are obviously happy to pick up a win on the Saturday night.
And they couldn't get the job done on Sunday against Bendigo, but it looks like it was a significant improvement than the week before when they got absolutely thrashed by Bendigo.
Yeah, definitely. Such a short turnaround to play someone in 8 days. So it really is, interesting to see what happens. I did say personnel would be a big thing. We waiting to see whether Lavinia Cox played, and she did after her under 20 state team selection. She was in there, so 13 points. But we had Ava come in for the Heat, and she put up 19 points, so that does help. But just seems Poppy playing. She just likes playing Mildura at the moment. I think it was 35 last week with 8 threes, and this week she just decided just to have 5 threes and 27 points. So she might be a little disappointed, but yeah, it seems to be the difference between the two teams at the moment. And Bendigo are going to be strong. So kudos for them getting that on Sunday.
And then Swan Hill got onto the winners list on
Yeah.
Sunday, getting over the line against Macedon Rangers. But, Adrian Cameron did all she could, shooting 24 points for the Rockies, but just couldn't get them over the line.
Yeah, we did say last week that someone was going to get off the donut, the no wins for the season. So, and Swan Hill after their result on Saturday night, clearly, I don't know, were they saving themselves for that? Maybe they were just hoping to get the W on the. Who knows? But yeah, it'd be tough for Macedon having two home games. You at least want to sort of get one, I think. But Adrian Cameron seemed to do as much as she could, having 24 out of the 48. Maybe just didn't have that much help. But kudos for Swan Hill. Again, you want to challenge your players if they get a loss on the Saturday night, especially by 80 odd points. So, good on them for bouncing back. And that makes the road trip a little bit easier home on the Sunday after a win.
It certainly would. And we'll just take a quick look at the ladder. Kyneton had the weekend off, but they're able to still hold top position with a 4-0 run, closely followed by Bendigo and Melton. And then Bacchus Marsh rounds out the top four. Them four teams are going to be pretty tough to beat this season. The ladder hasn't shaped up entirely yet, but they're the four teams that are currently standing out. We then got Mildura, followed by Swan Hill. Maryborough unfortunate with an 0-4 record at the moment. They just haven't been able to grab a win. And then Macedon sit on the bottom as well with an 0-4 record.
Yeah, exactly right. So I'd agree with what you said there. It does seem like, well, we've spoken about the top three being quite strong. Bacchus Marsh with that win on the Saturday night really highlights them to sort of push for that fourth position at the moment to get into finals. And then it'll just be interesting to see what happens with the rest. But Maryborough and Macedon will really try to lock in. I don't think you want to stay with no wins for the year. So we'll keep an eye on them.
No, you definitely don't want 0 wins in the win column at the end of the season. But that's our round 3 review for the Northwest Conference. We look forward to jumping on a call later this week with you, Sammy, so that we can preview what will be round 4 in the Northwest Conference. And we just ask you all to stay tuned and tune in later this week.